Welcome to this episode of the Wellness Circle, a space where we can come together, talk, laugh, cry, have real conversations, and really start to establish a community together. I am so excited because I have a very, very special guest today. My husband of 17 years. We're going to sit down and talk about our relationship, talk about relationships in general. So I'm looking forward to the conversation. Come on in.
Just so you know, in the introduction, you said very, very special.
Yes.
Everybody else only gets one.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm the double very. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for inviting me into the circle. This is cool.
I appreciate it. I am wondering if we can go back, so 17 years, if we can kind of go back in time and talk about what initially attracted us to each other.
Okay, so just to be clear, you're going to answer as well.
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
What initially attracted us to each other? Well, so just to be clear, I met you in like 2003.
Yeah.
And then I decided to do something about that attraction in like 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
So there's some time.
2007.
But I can say though, I was most moved by, I think and have thought that you're beautiful. To me, that's the standard. That's a given. But even beyond that though, I believe I saw your character. I saw your heart towards service in the community.
Yeah.
I saw your personal ambition, and you are innately a good person who wants to be about good in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, honey. I feel like for you, when I first met you, I couldn't really pick up a vibe. I'm like, okay, is this like because we were playing games together. You had a big afro jersey. I'm like, okay, cool. What's the vibe?
Okay.
And then as we were talking and hanging out, you were so cool. And so later through our mutual friend group,
Yeah.
I felt like you were someone I'm like, I want to talk to this guy like for the rest of my life. I thought you were,
That was the vibe. And now we see the vibe had a place.
of course, very handsome. I love the energy that like you walk into a room and I just feel like everybody just stops, like your confidence. But really it was how you thought about the world, your conversation, really, really good person, really about friends and family.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there's so much. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Shout out to the vibe.
That word has been around for a very long time. So now, 17 years later, we are both professionals in high stress careers. We've been married for 17 years, and I'm wondering, what's one thing that you know now about our relationship and about love that contradicts kind of like what we hear on social media about like the high value man, you can't take someone to Applebee's apparently or a Cheesecake Factory, but just thinking about what our relationship is like, what have you learned in the 17 years that may contradict what's out there right now?
So to me, that's a great question. To me, because I have a bit of passion.
And you are a high value man, by the way.
Shout out to being a high
nevertheless.
value brother. See, you dig?
Yeah.
To me, there's two different parts. A lot of what you see on social media talks about having someone who is somewhat established. Mm-hmm. So you want someone who won't take you to, I guess, Cheesecake Factories, not dope. We need to go to Ruth's Chris or better.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, well, are you meeting someone you can build with? Or are you trying to meet someone who's already there?
Yeah.
And you have two different people in that moment. You and I have been blessed to have met each other when we were young enough to have some things we needed to build toward.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the difference.
And we were 23, 24.
Yeah.
So one of the things I found during that time is like thinking about your character and who you are as a person. That aspect hasn't really changed. I mean, when we started, we were reading books together, already having conversations.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the things that I think about is when we talk about relationships now, it feels like we're taking the capitalism and transactional approach to relationships and applying it. Like this needs to be a productive, efficient, transactional thing, when I feel like 17 years, we've been through a lot, which we'll talk, we'll get more into later. But it requires, I think, this desire to build together, like you talked about.
To the point you just made, I think that the definition of most relationships that I'm seeing pop up in my timeline speaks a lot of the stuff that you, like you said a moment ago, would work best in corporate America. Like things you can check a box for, but there's no performance review for relationships.
Right.
There's no performance review for marriage. The real test is going to be the character that we display towards each other.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the part that has made marriage so challenging, is it's myself that I'm working on. And you become the mirror to the part of me that I haven't perfected yet.
Yeah. And parts of you that you don't even know exist.
Literally
Right.
the stuff I thought I could hide.
Yes. Like, I'm like, I didn't even know I could get angry, you know, until like our first like argument on the honeymoon. I'm like, whoa, where is this like deep anger coming from?
It's that.
You know?
It's that stuff to me that makes the big deal. And like you're saying now, I didn't know that. I thought those, like, I didn't know I had an unforgiveness problem. What it was is I just stopped talking to those people. Like, I hadn't forgiven nobody. So to me, those things within myself had to be worked out. And marriage has given me a place to do that.
Right.
And thank goodness you've been riding with me as I've been maturing in myself.
Yeah, same. When I think about challenges, right? Like you and I both have lost a parent.
Yeah.
So, you know, how have we like supported each other? Do you think through like loss? Yeah.
To me, that's tough because that will be different for everyone.
Yeah.
As I told you before, the standard of how I looked at myself as a man was, if you were happy, then I was a successful husband. So I literally judged my success as a husband by your happiness. And the problem is when your mother passed, I found out how much your happiness had to do with a number of factors.
Yeah.
And my ego had to get checked, and that is, so this isn't just me making all this happiness happen. There's a whole community of life that's now has the shift and change within that. That to me is the biggest thing I had to learn, is that I can't be the secret to the sauce in marriage.
Right. I think too, it's like for me, when I think about supporting you with like the loss of your dad, I think support looks different. So what I might have needed versus what you needed and need looks really different.
Yeah.
But I think we have like a shared value around family and around legacy and how much, you know, my mom, your dad like means to us. So I feel like together we got to honor that. And then I didn't even know how to really tell you what I need, not only in loss, but like in life. Like, how am I in a relationship? What are the things that I need and that I'm asking for? So we had to, I think, figure that out over the course of time. Yeah.
Yes.
And we're still in that process.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
So to your point, my father just passed away like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Still seems like it was yesterday. So me working through how I'm growing and changing in response to the holes in my life that are now evident after his departure, like you said, I'm still working through what that looks like.
Yeah. And you know what? That reminds me of like, so we got together in our 20s.
Yeah.
And we had like a bunch of friends, right? Like, I mean, we had a really huge community. It feels like after we got married, that all changed. Like our friends were like, oh, you know, well, y'all are married now. We're single. So let y'all do whatever married people do. Well, what does that mean? Like we still, you know, so it was a hard transition, right? So I think my question is about both of us. I would say, I'll speak for myself. I know that I'm seen as the strong one. I'm a therapist by trade. People assume that I have it together. I have answers. I'm seen as like, oh, she doesn't need anything. What do you, and I don't know, like for you, like the perception around how you're seen.
Yeah, I would say much similar. If I get checked on, it's because I hinted that I need to be checked on.
Right.
I'm the person that does the checking. Yeah. And the challenge with that is in marriage, I've seen we have a responsibility to continue leaning in and checking on each other.
Yeah.
But that's more difficult because there are transactional elements of our marriage. And that it's like, pick up the kids, go here, make this thing, handle that business.
Right.
How's this thing kind of going?
Yeah.
And we've had to intentionally check in with each other to make sure we can be there for the most important parts. How have you been working through keeping that intentional relational check-in part of our marriage alive, despite the busyness that we go through?
Yeah, I think we both are really, committed to like service and committed to kind of like building. And it can be really hard to like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I want to decompress. I really love alone time. And I might see you kind of like looking there like, hey, Latanya, I'm like, man, I'm so tired, right? But it's just like that, like, that's like a bid for connection. Like if I see your smile and see that you were waiting for me to come home and then I'm also really tired, like I can't ignore that. So for me, like us staying connected has been, despite our busyness, making sure we still date. We don't forget each other at the quiet time during the house when I want to do something else, that if I'm stressed, that I'm inviting you into that. I come lay on you, you know, we can watch a movie together, hang out. I think what I was thinking about too, with the loss of like our friends and us being seen as the strong one, I just want to say, like, you know, there's so much stuff out there like, hey, check on your strong friend. Also check on the golden child, right? The child you assume that has everything together. We still need community. So I was just highlighting, like, with the loss of friends and then this assumption that we're okay, we've had to kind of build our connection at times when we were isolated. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, to the point you made a moment ago, I agree with you. It's as soon as we got married, it's like all the friends, like you said, thought they had to go do something else.
Yeah.
And some of them folk probably should have. Not anything wrong with them, but, you know, I don't know that married couples have a whole lot to be hanging out with a bunch of single people about. But I found that there were some relationships that I needed to continue to foster and pour into. And I didn't know as a married person that I even should. Like I thought the whole leave and cleave idea meant leave everybody and cleave to my wife.
Yeah.
Literally separating myself from the support community that had gotten me to the point where we found that we liked each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I feel like is the opposite. I think that we aren't meant to do life alone,
No.
right? Even as we're in our relationship and even like with raising our child, like we need a team.
Yeah.
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 How has it been for you as we transition into parents? You know, kind of going from where we started experiencing loss. My mother passed away before he was born. Grad school, careers, like how has it been for you as we've transitioned? We have a 9-year-old beautiful boy.
Yeah.
What has that been like?
That is, for me, that's probably been the hardest part. I read something on like an Instagram post or something where somebody mentioned they didn't know how much they would miss their wife.
Yeah.
As a result of all these other things coming in. And I found a sense of the moments that I have your complete attention are literally gold. So now that I've got those moments, I've got to do something. I've got to give you the best of myself in those moments, as opposed to the leftover parts of myself throughout the day.
Yeah.
And that's challenging because sometimes all I've got is what's left.
Right.
But in those moments, you also are able to pick up and lean into the other moments that I don't have much to give. So for me, we've had to find unique ways of staying connected despite the busyness, because it looks very different than it did when we got together.
Yes. And because we live in a different area, unlike how I grew up, you could like take your kid down the street to your auntie's house and like you just had people who were all around. I think we've had to be very intentional.
Yeah.
I also feel like this nuclear family experiment is like a bust. Like moving away from support, not the vibe.
No.
So we have to either pay people, find someone, drive, 2 hours, but it's worth it to have that time. Yeah.
I agree. But like you said, there used to be, you go drop them off at your grandma's house. And as long as you come back and the kid wasn't, and he still had his head on his shoulders, he was cool.
That was it, right?
Whatever happened,
Yeah.
and it was fine.
Yeah.
And outside of some stupid stuff that may happen in those moments, those were safe places where you had a community of people that helped marriages stay together.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about how does the Black family specifically look and how have they stayed together despite
Yeah.
Jim Crow, systemic racism, issues with the civil rights era and all those things.
Yeah.
And to me, the community is at the center, the community of support for a marriage and for a family is at the center of how that was able to continue to thrive.
I love that you brought that up because I do feel like the primary message out there is about like how much drama and conflict there is between like Black people who are together, but we rarely talk about how we survived, how we celebrate, how we did it like arm in arm, right? Like with joy, with community, like totally having each other's back. Like the whole other aspect of what our parents, ancestors, everything went through was all about how we keep our families together. And I don't think that's like talked about a lot right now.
Not at all.
Yeah.
We act like it happened some other way than the support community from the churches to the familial structure to the grandma who was either in the house or next door.
Right.
To the uncle that really ain't your uncle, but y'all called him uncle, who came by and was dropping off food every couple of days. Like all those pieces of the community have begun to shift, and that it is weakened the marriage, and people haven't recognized that that's missing.
Right. And then I also feel like I understand why we're different, right? I understand if you had a hard day or you experience like some microaggressions at work or you're feeling some pressure or whatever, like we can have like a shared conversation around that, even though there are differences, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about our son too. What do you think about our different, like our parenting styles?
All right. So, what do you think?
No, you go.
No, you. What do you think about the differences in our parenting styles?
Well, I feel like we're leaning into gentle parenting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
And so how that shows up, right? Like I feel like we have a shared, like we want to raise a confident, emotionally intelligent, good human. And
yes.
And
I need him ready to deal with these streets.
Right.
So I think the challenge is you being from Flint isn't quite a gentle area.
Okay.
Raised in Detroit.
In
the area of Detroit I'm from, the way it worked when I was a kid, I don't know that I would call that a gentle area.
Okay.
So for me, the concept of gentle parenting, I agree with. It's the term. I gotta work with the term.
We can make a new one, right?
Yeah, I want like something tough sounding parenting. But to your point, there's a lot of things that you had to do to survive in the environment.
Right.
And to me, adaptation says, cool, that worked there. Does that stuff work here?
Yeah.
And some of those principles that we learned and that we tried to emulate from our parents were good things.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff needs to go in a can and get buried.
Yeah. Like to me, it's like, okay, keep the hustle. Yeah. Let's keep the hustle. Let's keep the drive. Let's keep that flexibility, right? That allows you to be able to walk into any room, right? Like I want him to be able to walk into any room like, hey, I deserve to be here, right? Which I feel like is a part of it. And also, if you feel sad, that's all right. Like it's okay to feel emotional. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be angry, right? All of that. Like I was hit with some moments where I'm like, okay, I think I told him to do something. And then he was like huffing and puffing. And I'm like, okay, is this like should I like come in and do something? And I'm like, well, he's listening. It's just, why doesn't he have a right to be angry, to have like a reaction? He wasn't disrespectful. He did what I wanted him to do. So let him breathe. Getting angry is normal.
To your point, is his emotion allowed despite his compliance?
Right.
And that's something. When I grew up, it was not only did I have to do what was said, I couldn't say nothing about the fact that it was unjust. Some of the decisions were wrong.
Right.
And I had to do it with a smile, which is all this unhealthy way of displaying things.
Yes, we put an expectation on kids that as adults we cannot even do.
Right.
So no, yes, he's going to be upset. He's going to be mad, as adults are. Right. I feel like some of that stuff denied like our humanity. Like my mom was very nurturing, very caring. So I feel like, what, you think I got away with too much? So very nurturing, very caring. So I knew that I always had like, and I respected her. So you didn't have to be stern for me in order to have that respect. Like she could do it with love, you know?
Yeah. My dad was someone that you would respect because you would also be able to fear him. So he wasn't about the games. Okay. You know, he was a career lawyer, executive in the in a Fortune 500 company, and a colonel in the military. Almost all at the same time in some instances. Yeah. So that's a person who has built his life on don't mess with me, and what I say is probably what you should do. So for me, some of the practices I learned are definitely things I'm not going to emulate, but the principles of how I was raised are what we carry forward.
I think it is both,
So
right?
maybe I don't go outside and fight the dude who maybe I'm not teaching David, yeah, if they looked at you crazy at school, you go fight them.
Right.
But I am teaching him to advocate for himself. And in this environment, that looks different than it did then.
Yeah.
I think that's the key to this evolved kind of parenting.
I think so too. It's like, to me, as I listen to you, it's like all of it can be true, both of it can be true, and it doesn't have to be extreme or toxic. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is how we handle conflict.
Between each other?
Yeah, yeah. In our relationship, how do we handle conflict?
So,
Just by the way, that smile is like, it means there's like stories, like Soma probably, which we, but just like, so tell me
listen,
about that.
We good.
I love that.
It's just us, right?
You're like,
Can't nobody else
tell me
listen
about
to
that.
Yeah. To me, how do we handle conflict? As a person, I want to give you my most calm and respectful way of communicating.
Yeah.
And in certain moments, I am unable to do that. So I'll take a moment to myself until I can. The challenge is that I've found and learned, sometimes my moment is more time than is acceptable.
Yeah.
So I've had to be like, okay, I don't like what just happened. I don't have the words to deal with this kindly and gently. I need to take a moment. And then I need to tell you in that moment when we can talk again, or I need to come back and talk again.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is coming back to those moments and not just letting it be whatever it is.
Yeah. And I would say that you were killing that. That other dude, that 24, 25-year-old guy was like, I ain't talking, right? Like, I'll be, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like us working through that. And then I feel like for me, I'm like, let's talk now.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's part of how I come back, is us being able to communicate about what happened. So I like to handle it right in the moment, which was very different from your style. And what I learned is that I actually benefit from the same break that you do, because I'm not coming at you with straight, whatever it might be, anger, frustration. Like, I can actually benefit from that time too, which is something that I learned. Because at first I was like, see, I'm a beast because I like talking about things, like, and I can do that right away. But it's like, no, you're angry, you're accusatory. Like, no, everybody can benefit from at least 20 minutes to calm down. So I've been able to give you that time, and I've respected it because it's also helped me. And when you come back and keep that commitment, that's dope too. I feel like one of the things that's been really great for us is when we can tell each other when we're available to talk or not. I think that's been like something that's unlocked in like the past few years.
Yeah.
Where you could bring something up to me and I could be like, oh, hold on. Like, nope, I feel myself getting defensive. I feel like, actually, I can't have this conversation right now. Can we come back to it? Like, I'm not available, which means you're not going to get the Latanya that I want to give you, which is, I want you to feel respected, cared for, know that I actually want to hear your perspective. Yeah.
Well, and if I hadn't have gotten the time that I needed in that moment to take a second, and you're still wanting to talk and pursuing it somewhat, it felt aggressive to me. So to me, not only is it's like, so now the issue I have was about the thing that happened a moment ago, and now it's about the fact that I can't get a moment.
Yeah.
So to me, when not allowed, the argument becomes about the thing that happened after it, not even the argument anymore.
Yeah.
And then we 10 levels deep, unable to get back out of that spiral.
Exactly.
So like you said, being able to communicate, now is not the time for me to talk. I need a moment just to gather my thoughts. I literally don't have the words.
Yeah.
And I think we need a moment. And then actually giving that moment when we're ready, to me, is a big deal.
It is. It's huge.
Yeah.
What would you say for people who are thinking about like how do we find our way? Like, was it couples therapy? Was it reading? Was it prayer? Like, how do we do it? And then what would you say for people?
All of that. All of that. And then add in, So number one, it's very much it's understanding who you got. There's a part where I had to literally understand, okay, she is not going to get up at 6:30 in the morning. She just ain't doing it. She's gonna sleep till 8 and 9 if you don't say nothing.
And by the way, can we just normalize that 8 is not, it's not 4 o'clock p.m., right? Like she's gonna sleep till 8. That's still
And when I grew up, everybody was up at 6, showered by 6:15, and we at Meyer at 7.
yeah,
Been done, shopped, and came back by 8. Breakfast ready by 9.
yeah,
For me, that's very different than how you value your time. I value my time in that way.
right.
So the understanding, I can't conflict with your values.
Yeah,
Those aren't going to change.
yeah. Because for me, I grew up very differently, right? Like we slept in, we would have breakfast, video games. You might do, Saturday morning cartoons or whatever. So
Well, not like I ain't had no
up-
childhood. I did all the
I'm
stuff.
just saying, I'm up way earlier now than I would have been then.
Again,
right?
that's the compromise.
Yeah,
But to
yeah.
me, I think that the key, if I were to say something, how did we get to any point that's positive? What are values conflicts that we need to resolve? Or what are values conflicts that you have your values and that's the way you want to live your life.
Exactly.
And if we're going to partner together, I got to allow your values to maintain their way.
Yeah.
Some of those are you being able to enjoy a calm
Peaceful.
existence. To me, for you, that might mean you want to have time to go on a walk. For me, that meant going on a walk, but I'm going to do it quick.
Yeah.
For you, the quickness neutralizes the relaxation.
Yes.
For me, I was running my relaxation like a checklist. Like, okay, I went to the spot. Cool. I walked real fast down the street. Cool. Okay, I drank my tea. 5 minutes, done. Instead of taking time with it. And that's something I've learned from you that I had to adopt.
Yeah. Because we operate at very different paces, right? Like you walk fast, you're on your feet, you're whatever. I'm like, oh, let me just see how I feel. Let me get some tea. Let me look around.
Yeah.
So I feel like through our vacations and life together, like we've been able to kind of like glean and like learn from each other. What's been some of like your most a really positive, like happy moment that we had together?
A really positive, happy moment we had together. We've had a lot. And I want to say like the big stuff was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Mhm.
And it is.
Yeah.
But to me, the smaller the stuff, almost the more it means. There was a moment, and I don't know when, but it was like within the last couple. So this isn't the most. This thing, I'm not ranking.
Well, yeah,
This is
no.
a moment.
Let's change it. Like,
Okay.
just like talk about like a happy, content like moments that we've had in our relationship.
Sure.
Yeah.
We went to the movies, and we got there early enough for me to see the previews. Because I love the previews. When we got to the movie, you said, go ahead and go on in and get your seat. And I'm watching the previews. And then you went out and got the popcorn and brought it back.
Yeah.
Seasoned with the little caramel, what's the name?
I
blend out
couldn't
like.
do it like you do it, but I tried to give it
you
what
took a
I
shot.
did, what I could. Yeah.
We got done, and then you walked around browsing at stores with me the way I like to window shop, and that's not your thing.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
To me, like, it just showed you understood something about the way I wanted to have that day, that moment. And you allowed me to do my thing and kind of went alongside that. To me, that's the understanding of how we've been able to work together.
That's a really good example, because before, like, first get married, it's like he needs to, like, I don't like that, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't like doing it, and thus therefore, like, you like to really be at the shops and look at the hats and t-shirts, and you can do that for like a really, really long time.
Yeah, and I ain't buying nothing.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, well, what do you want to buy? Like, what did you see? What was the point in my mind?
It
of
started
like,
because I was broke.
Yeah.
Like, if you ain't got it, you better keep walking.
right.
At a point, it became, oh, maybe this is worth it.
yeah.
Maybe I need to take a moment and take some time.
Yeah, right. And then with me, you'd be like, if we go somewhere and I'm like, look at this mountain. Like, let's just look at it. You're like, yeah, I mean, I see it. It's like, let's just really like take it in and just see like what God has created. And you'd be like, yeah. So, but you stay with me in those moments, right? And like really, really be there. I think for me, I would say whenever anything happens, the first person I want to tell is you. And I always appreciate that, like, no matter how wild or crazy, like, my day is or how much, because I like to run you through, like, okay, so I woke up. Like that's usually like where I start when I'm updating you about like what happened, even though we just seen each other in that morning. It's like, so I woke up and this is how I was feeling at this time, but you're always like available to listen, which I love. So I love being able to talk to you, put my feet on you and just kind of chill and tell you everything I did throughout the day. You never seem like you're like, you seem really engaged. Like you don't seem like it's too much, which I
Yeah,
really
well,
appreciate.
to me, it's like I've read in the Bible, dwell with them according to knowledge.
Yeah.
And to me, the idea is I had to learn who I got and then live with you in that way. Once I started learning who I got and then living like that, understanding your values and then living that way, understanding your character, how you like to be loved, respected, talked to, and then doing the stuff, to me, that's when things changed. But that came through me having to take time to understand, and there was no shortcut to that.
Which I think is something to just highlight. I feel the ability to be able to work through conflict and know the person that you said yes to is going to change so much over time.
Teach.
Like, so how are you going to be available to like grow together, like with them? I love that if I'm reading something, you usually are reading it. Like you'll read it.
Yeah.
Now I could do better, right? Because you're a big autobiography person. You're like, I'm on the autobiography of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm like, okay. I don't want to read that.
And it was dope. It was very dope.
We read, if we're reading Michelle Obama's book or we're doing whatever, like we're reading books together. So, but it's just like you change so much over time. And I think we're in a culture that doesn't know how to navigate conflict and doesn't recognize the person you got can actually like grow with you and change and be the person that you're, like not, but grow into what you hope for in a relationship. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that you said that. The personal investment to grow with you.
Yeah.
Your field of interest and expertise is very different than what I was raised in and brought in as in terms of career.
Yeah.
So I actually read the books you buy.
Right.
I'll go and watch the podcast you listen to just to stay involved so I can find out a way to understand and be able to talk about the stuff that matters to you. And that's helped to keep us together.
Yes.
But that's work and that's investment and that's time.
Yeah. And I know that I feel like our household is very different. Like you do majority of the cooking.
Yeah.
Right. You do like more of the organization. So whatever those roles are, like, I feel like it can shift based on what your family needs. Right. Yeah. I have areas that are really easy for me to do for us. And then you have areas that are really easy for you. And it doesn't have to be a label, a role assignment. It's just how we've come into like a rhythm together.
I love that you said that because I don't believe in gender roles.
Yeah.
I believe in assignments. So for me, it's very much like I'm a cook and I'm gonna play a part in cleaning and probably the laundry and other stuff.
Right.
But if I live my life my way, I ain't having no fun. But every box will be checked except for the box that said life was worth living. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the difference that you've been able to add that is unequivocal. Mm-hmm. Every day became a joy and worth smiling about with your input. But it wasn't just because you're a happy person, it's because you planned for it and you strategically find ways to make it happen.
Yeah.
I think that that's the partnership that we've been able to see work for us, that for many people, they're still focused on a gender role as opposed to a partner's role.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. What's one last thing you want to say as we're wrapping? Any like advice or one last thing you want to say? If
I had to say any one thing, everybody has bumps and challenges that they work through.
Yeah.
I think if they can maintain respect for each other, despite what happens, then you can always come back. To me, there's a way where arguments and disagreements you have become fundamentally disrespectful and unacceptable. Mm-hmm. And that to me is where is the line you don't cross. But if you can maintain respect, you can always find a way to come back. And sometimes you might have to come back to respecting each other. That's right.
Yeah. I love it. I think that I agree. I say friendship, like remembering that this is your friend. And I just want to normalize, like it is hard, it's complex, and that is normal because that's what happens when humans come together and try to build a life. Like we bring all of our stuff. Yeah. And so I wouldn't want people to feel alone in that it can be really difficult, but coming back to respect and friendship. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you, darling.
Much to your success. This is cool.